Hello, everyone. Welcome to POAP Community Call number 11 on this March 23rd evening for me. A little chilly outside, but it's nice and cozy inside where I'm at. And I hope you're also nice and cozy for the show tonight. But anyway, my name is Mr. Mojo. I'm from Eaststaker. I'm also a POAP enthusiast. And let's go ahead and go down the list of everybody that's here. So we have Tap. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is Tab with POAPathon, and we do POAP design services. So if you want a really special POAP, you can come to POAPathon.com and request a design. And we also do other things like NFTs and PFPs and that fun stuff as well.
Yep, and we're definitely going to be talking about a project that you're working on later on in this show. But another one of our reoccurring hosts is Defi Dude. Go ahead and say hello, brother.
Hey guys, it's me, Defi Dude. I do some spotlights in the call, and I do some cool stuff in crypto, DeFi, Ethereum. Yep.
Awesome. And a reoccurring guest, but is actually an official host for today. We have Logic Beach. Go ahead and say hello, brother.
Hi guys, I am Logic Beach from Logic Beach, and also Make the World a Better Place, and officially Grid Plus. Good to be here with everybody.
Awesome. And now somebody who is stepping up to host also for the first time this week is JENetics, somebody who I actually recently met just last week. So this is also going to be a bit of an introduction for me too. So go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself, JENetics.
Hello, everyone. I am JENetics, mostly from Bankless DAO. I've been there since their inception, so almost a year now. And I also have been with POAPathon since nearly its inception. So I'm a dual full-timer at two DAOs, and I do a lot of POAP creation in both of those DAOs.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our first topic this week. We actually have two special guests on here that can help talk about it. So, in case you did not know, at POAP, they have really updated and revamped the directory with a lot of super helpful information. From my understanding, it was Hanny that created it, and Squanch, you helped make sure that it was proofread and looked all good to go. But I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to you two. Please tell us about your process of making this and everything and what it can help people do.
Hey, Andy here from POAP. Sure. So I started developing this about 2-ish months ago, and the reason was that the ecosystem was really seeing explosive growth with a ton of tools and resources popping up left and right. It was starting to become harder to keep track of all of them. It's really seemed that people that weren't actively in the community were missing out on a lot that the ecosystem had to offer, just because there was no way to really discover these tools except through word of mouth. So we developed POAP.directory to aggregate a bunch of these resources into one place. That makes it very easy to get started, as well as just browse and take a look at what else there is that the ecosystem has to offer, for anything between distribution to the various apps available if you're a collector, and then the next iteration will be working on tools for being able to view the different POAP integrations that exist, so that if you're, let's say, running a DAO and are using Google Drive, you can create token-gated docs and folders using Lit protocol, for example. We just launched this yesterday. Today's Wednesday? Yes, we just launched this yesterday. And exciting. I really hope people enjoy it. There's been positive feedback so far. And I guess I'll pass this on to Squanch.
Hey guys, I think Hani pretty much covered it there, but I really would recommend everybody go check this out. The link is over in the community calls chat, but it's probably the best one-stop shop spot for all of our tools and utilities that we've got out there, including a number of different third-party distribution methods and different tools you can use with it, with POAPs rather. So things like the POAP.fun raffle, as well as like token-gated Discord communities, all sorts of things. It's really a nice place to go and just kind of get a 10,000-foot view about what POAP can be used for, which is something that we were severely lacking in the past. It used to be that you'd be able to get in contact with one of us and we could recommend some various things, if we could even remember all of them ourselves. So now we've got one single spot here for everybody to see everything that we've got. It's definitely a big bonus.
Hey, don't underestimate. It's huge because I was, I've been doing POAPs for a while, and I'm like, I didn't even know these were options. Some of the things.
Yeah.
It's nice
funny.
work.
I've instructed a bunch of my team members to scroll through there because I guarantee there's things in there that they didn't know about. And there's more integrations being built every day, so those are all going to be added in the future as well. It's a really good resource, and we thank Hani very much for putting that together for us.
One of the great things about building this was the discovery process, because I was pretty involved with POAPs, being from the Rocket Pool community, and I mean, yeah, like most of those, probably like 60%, 80% of those were all new to me. And if you see anything that is not listed there, up at the top, there's a submit resource button, and I encourage you to fill that out so that we can get it added. And if you have any feedback on ideas to improve the site, or I don't know, maybe you find a typo or a bug or anything like that, there is a feedback link in the bottom in the footer, and please let us know.
Yes, for sure. Please let them know. I will say, I know I forgot to mention it earlier, but we do all of our chatting in the community calls channel, and if you're interested in looking at all the hard work that was put into this directory, the link is in there. It's poap.directory. And now I might sound like a little bit of a nerd a little bit, but really, when I saw it, I was like, wow, it's so well written. And what I mean by that is everything leads into the next thing. Like, you've done such a fantastic job of doing this concept of like getting people to stay in for a session. Like people will come in and they'll have like a whole session, and you make it to where like they go on to the next thing, move on. Like, so instead of just absorbing one part, they're like, okay, well, now I know this, I have to know this part too. And it just keeps flowing. And I also found it neat too. You kept it really simple. I forget the name of the kids show, but it's like 3 special steps or whatever, right? And like you kind of applied that formula to it. You have what is it? It's like it's design, create, and distribute. And really, whenever you really boil it down, that is like the 3 points of emphasis when it comes to a POAP, right? You want to design your POAP, then you have to create your event, and then you have to distribute it. And I feel like you lay it out really well. You aggregate resources, and not even everything is like POAP specific. Like, you have POAPathon as a resource that's linked to, for example. And I think that's just so cool how like you were really able to bring it together. You did such a fantastic job, and I'm just a nerd when it comes to this, but yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that, and I take pride in my organizational skills, but I can't take all the credit. Isabel provided a lot of feedback and was important throughout the process as well. And I think something that people will probably find most interesting is the next section under that, which is, after you have your POAP drop, what could you do with it? Between playing games like the raffles, and there's another game that's currently being worked on that will likely be adding to this list as well. Or if you're a DAO, what kind of tools there are for various gated access. Here in the list, there's gated access, Discords, Telegrams, Notion, Zoom calls. There's a lot that you can do that I'm sure many people, even people that have, been following these POAP community calls, just aren't aware of. So it's great for discoverability and disseminating that information to help spread that awareness.
Totally. Again, man, such a great job. Like, honestly, major props. Like, I'm thinking about doing something similar as well, but for like staking guides. And like, honestly, knowing that I can use this just as like a resource, like, okay, this is like a good flow of things, it's really helpful. It's like, yes, thank you. But all right, guys, I think it's time that we go ahead and move on to our next topic. I'm going to stay within the POAP website type things. So Pullup Gallery, it now displays links to various Web3 explorers and social media sites. So I am going to post the example that was given in the newsletter. I'm going to put it right here in the community calls. So if you go in there and you take a look at it, if you scroll down and see who's actually claimed, right next to the address, you're going to get a whole bunch of different little symbols. That's basically what this is talking about. You're able to click on there and explore like different social media sites within Web3 that have POAP integrated. And I think it's really cool because it's a way for, one, for these platforms to actually promote themselves. But it also kind of leads into this as well, which this is going to be an older question from the Slido. But I think it's actually really relevant. So this was asked a while ago. I'm going to say that their name is YBK, because honestly, I can't pronounce their name, and I do apologize. But they asked, when do you think the mass public will fully adopt POAPs? And I think we're seeing it before our eyes. Look, there are platforms that are literally trying to integrate it as much as they can. And then you're also seeing POAP appear more in real life. For example, some of the things that just in the POAP newsletter that was talked about, the city of Buenos Aires, they distributed their first POAP. Now, I wish I could go more in depth on that, but since it's in a different language, it's difficult for good old American here to really dig deep. But from my understanding, there was some sort of gathering with the city, and they were willing to give out a POAP. So awesome. Like, that's like governments are wanting to do that. You're also seeing brands, especially in places like Decentraland, they love giving out POAPs, especially these beer companies. Like, I know, like, Budweiser has given one out. Heineken recently gave one out in Decentraland. And also, which I think is like a big, I think this is a really big thing. So World of Women, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, they are going around, they're doing art exhibits, and whenever you show up to them, you get a POAP for that. And something that they did for International Women's Day, they were in London, they did an art show with creative debuts in Adidas, and if you showed up, you got a POAP. So, and it's more of these things. We're seeing it now every single week. These big events, these real life places, they're trying to find ways to get POAP to really come in and be like,
there's
this
also
thing that we can use.
Pullup recently. I mean, that's no small event, And I believe, wasn't it handed out at the Super Bowl?
There was one from Binance for the Super Bowl. It was like had like Jimmy Butler on it, and it was like, do your own research when it comes to crypto type thing. It's pretty much like, hey, if you see a Super Bowl ad that's just shilling a crypto exchange, press the button and you get a POAP.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
I tried to get my
small
POAP,
things
it just didn't work. So yeah, for real. Like, POAP it's starting to expand, and I think it's awesome. So, when do we think the mass public is going to fully adopt POAP? Man, we're already seeing it before our eyes. Truly, like, we really are seeing
and
it.
It's happening quick too.
It is happening very fast. Like, in fact, it's one of the things that I kind of look forward to in the newsletter now. It's like, okay, how was POAP used this week? Like, where was POAP used this week? It's really cool. Like, things that I would never imagine being used in. At this stage, anyway.
We just got a feature from the Motley Fool. I posted in the community chat explaining what POAP is, and I think that's from a traditional news outlet.
Yeah,
a really good example.
Yeah, I feel like some people actually don't realize kind of how big that is too. Like, the Motley Fool is something that a lot of people have used for just general financial advice and stock advice in the past, and I think they're also the curators of this big, like, whatever it is, it's like stocks that you shouldn't buy or something that they do every year or whatever. Like, they analyze the companies and they're like, yeah, like, you'd be a fool to buy these stocks or whatever. I think that's what they're most known for, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, this is a more established, like, financial advice forum. And here they are, like, let's talk about POAP. You know, like, that's so cool. What was there anything else? I see that Logic Beach, yeah, like how much do they actually talk about POAP in this Time article? Because I only skimmed it. I know they're talking about.
I don't think they
Vitalik
actually mention it. It was more. I made this post on Twitter just because the idea that Vitalik is talking about in this Time article is POAP in my mind, and so yeah, I really think that POAP is approaching like a parabolic growth curve. Like once people start to use it, more people start to use it, and then it grows so fast, right? So I think we're approaching that. We're about to grow so fast part of the curve.
Hey, Time also uses POAPs pretty extensively as well.
Yeah, I believe that has happened in the past as well.
That Vitalik piece, it definitely does refer to POAP, because he's had an article before that he put out on his, I believe it was on his blog, and his wording was pretty much exactly the same. And then I remember I posted it in the POAP chat saying, "Oh, hey, Vitalik, I think he's talking about us, just like you're saying right now." And dumb me didn't read further, and literally like two sentences later, yeah, he mentions it exactly by name. It's definitely talking about POAP there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, especially me, whenever I explain what POAP is to them, there's a good amount of people who are like, how can I start collecting? Like, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, it's true. We like things that we can collect, and people like things that show stuff that they did, and POAP is like the fusion and the mishmash of that concept.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty good at explaining POAP to people, like normal people that aren't crypto-minded people, IRL. So we used to try to go too deep, and I try to explain like what Ethereum was first. But honestly, most people, for their uses, they can use POAP and not even understand that it's built on a blockchain. I think that's sort of the nexus point where we start to see crypto in real life everywhere. It's an app on their phone. They don't even know that it's on a blockchain. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point too. You can go ahead, Tap.
Yeah, on that note, like, this is kind of a funny experience today. One of your friends, Kevster, I won't name names. I was jokingly like using the word hold, HODL, right? And they genuinely, like, they're a big POAP collector. They design POAPs, and they had no idea what that meant, which to me is successful, because it's like, and I educated them, right? I was like, here's an investor. And I'm sure there's plenty of people on here that might not know what hold mean, but it's misspelled word hold, right? Which is a traditional finance term within crypto, like really early on, because someone misspelled it basically. But yeah, that to me, that was an example where it's like, oh, there's a large amount of general population, right, that is adopting POAPs, not realizing it runs on a blockchain, right? And there's all these other things that then they learn about because of it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and another thing too is you can reserve POAPs with your email as well, so you don't even have to have like a wallet address to send it to at the time that you reserve it. So, I mean,
does anyone really want to use email though?
There's plenty of people who do. You'd be surprised.
I'm joking. No. I think it's a must-have and something that's great to onboard. So it's a good thing.
Yep.
It makes it very accessible.
Yes, and I think that's a really good point that you made though, Logic, that there's definitely a lot of people who are using something like POAP, and they really don't realize that they're using blockchain technology. Like, they have no idea. And I think that is cool. Like, I actually want to think about that a little bit more. Like, that's really neat.
Yeah, I was trying to onboard some friends of mine that run a CBD hemp delivery service to use POAPs for like a royalty program. I know there's at least one restaurant that I've heard of that is doing that, so I was trying to push it onto him. I was like, it's a great idea. You know, people love community. It's like it's community engagement. People love earning things. You know, having a little badge. It's just cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think this is something that Tap, I think you're the perfect person to talk about this. So here on our...
No, JENetics, I think, is
Yes.
going to talk about it.
Perfect.
Are you talking about
Awesome.
JENetics?
Yes, POAPs and POGs at NFT NYC. Tell me all
Absolutely.
about it, please.
So our proof of concept was at ETH Denver, where we created physical POAPs, these physical POAPs that you could actually hold in your hands, and we called them POGs. And if you're a child of the 90s from the United States, you might remember POGs, which was a game that elementary school children played at research, where you took these cardboard little circles, and you had a stack of them on the ground, and you took what was called a slammer, which were usually either made out of plastic, or if you were really hardcore, aluminum, and you slammed it on the stack of pogs. And if you managed to flip one over from the backside to the front side, depending on which region of the US you were playing in, you got to keep your opponent's pogs. And so in POAPathon, when I joined, I had been explaining to my IRL friends and family, well, POAPs are like POGs. And so that was a way for me to communicate to them what, I was doing with all of my free time on the blockchain. And so I decided, okay, Tap, what are we going to do? This would be really cool to do. And so we decided, just as kind of a silly thing to do, was to turn POAPs into these actual POGs. And we ran a design contest and had a bunch of sponsors pay for and sponsor these POAPs, turned them into POGs, and handed them out in packs, where you got the physical packs at ETH Denver. And each pack came with a slammer and then some POGs, and it also came with a slip of paper where you could mint or you could mint one actual POAP, and then that POAP actually unlocked some cryptogs. But we're going to do it again. But this time we're going to go to NFT NYC, and we want to go even bigger and better and get some even more amazing sponsors this time. So instead of just 3 categories for sponsors, we're going to have 4. We want to get more NFT projects onboarded. And this is really, really cool, because not only do you get like a permanent physical token printed onto these pogs that became like a rarity thing, and people were actually like hunting down Tap at ETH Denver to get these packs. But you also get a chance to have these turned into cryptogs, and the chances of them being turned into cryptogs, it's all randomized through our programmers with the cryptogs. So it's really, really fun. And then with ultrasound merch, I'm letting the community decide what kind of t-shirt is also going to be made to commemorate NFT NYC and POAPs and POGs and cryptogs and all of this all together.
Awesome. Sorry, it took me way too long to unmute there. Anyway. Yeah, okay. First off, I just want to say, I think POGs are awesome. Why? Because it really is one of those things that's like, it's community. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's nostalgia.
It's like, yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like you're able to come together as a community and have this thing, right? And okay, I actually have a really funny story about these at ETH Denver. So of course, Tap was going around handing out these packs, and he had given me like 5 or 6 packs, and he was like, "Hey, hand some of these out for me." And I was like, "All right, sure." And I mean, honestly, I only handed out like 2 of them, but I had like a bunch of packs. So of course, I took them home, and I was scanning them because I had figured out like, oh, there's like different POAPs. Like different styles of POAPs. But like the ones that were duplicates, I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw these away. And oh my god, how stupid of me. Why? Because I could have put that on a new address and minted more minted more pogs on Polygon, but no, my stupid self threw them away. Why would I do that to myself?
I know. I got so I Tap just gave me a box because we were supposed to have Ultrasound was supposed to have a box or a table at ETH Denver, and through a catastrophic series of events we didn't get to have a table, but I did end up with a box, and a couple or several packs of the pogs didn't seal correctly, so I ended up every time I'd pick up a pack and pogs would fall out, I'd just take the package and stick it in my back pocket because I didn't want anybody to end up with a package that wasn't complete. And at the end of ETH Denver, I ended up with like a stack of these half empty pog packs. And so I went through my suitcase at the end and I collected them all, and then I just scanned all the POAPs, and I have, like a bunch of the POAPs in my wallet. And then at the end they were like, "Oh, you only get one of them." And I was like, "Oh no." Like, I felt so bad that I could have been handing out the slips to other people even though they could have been I felt so bad. But it was so much fun. I got two pogs. I designed two, and so like one of the slammers is my little slammer dude. That's the POAPathon character, and he kind of takes on the life of himself. A lot of other people in the community get to design the character and him doing things, which is super exciting. And then my face is one of the cryptogs. And I think there were like a total of 25 of my face turned into the physical pogs. And so if you manage to get like my actual face on a physical pog, it was like a big freaking deal. And I think that's really funny that
like a super
people
rare,
are like,
yeah.
Yeah, 25 people out in the world own my face.
But yeah, no, okay. Look, I promised Defi Dude I wasn't trying to do POAP fraud. No, no.
I mean,
it's just one of those things that's like, man, I could have minted more of these things and filled out my collection for free instead of being a super fizz and spending, I don't know, a whole year's worth of salary on a freaking pog collection.
Yes, I feel you there.
But
no,
it is
really,
what it is.
Yeah, we tried to encourage as broad distribution as possible, and it worked out pretty well. A few different things I'd say is like, I think last time we did increase sponsorship. Now that we've proven we've executed, and we want to actually compensate people for their work. Because the first go around, like, it paid for more or less materials, and then the artist's design perspective. So, but yeah, like, we have the top tier package guarantees. We'll have like 250 packs to drop at a party, for instance. So like, this is a great way if you're throwing a party to have an additional thing to hand out to some people, which is super fun. And I did find it's funny. I like, it's in the POAP directory. You guys added the custom pogs, which is awesome. Like, that, I'm sure they appreciate that. So you can also, like, if you want to make your own pogs, right? Just for fun, you can go to the POAP directory and I think it's custompogs.com. And we had a lot of people that showed up to ETH Denver even doing that because they missed out on sponsoring a pack, or because we were full, right? So it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the shirt will be available. Like, you don't have to go to NFT NYC to get the shirt. The shirt will be available on Ultrasound's website. So even if you don't get to go to the physical event, you could still order the shirt online, and a portion of those sales will go to support this I don't know, what are we calling it? Venture? Sillyness. I love it. It's so much fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, really, I think at the end of the day, you gotta enjoy it. I mean, I was talking to my brother about this not too long ago, but it's like, look, man, gotta find something that you like doing and do it. And I'm glad that y'all have been able to find that for yourselves. I mean, like, genuinely.
Yes.
But okay. I actually want to go ahead and ask this slide of questions since we're calling me a POAP fraud here, because this actually is in line with this. Anyway, there's a question. This is also from a little while ago, but this is from Hattie Fab. Hopefully I said your name right, brother. You normally are on all the shows. You talk a lot, too. I do appreciate your continued participation. But he had asked, do we have fake POAPs? like scam tokens on different chains? And I think that's kind of an interesting question because I'm going to be honest. I don't know the answer. Is there something that's trying to be like POAP as well, or like
There is.
I feel like the
That's a
only
great
way,
question.
yeah, I feel like the only way to have like a scam token is like to pretend that you're a migrated POAP on mainnet or something, right? Like I feel like it's really hard to fake an actual POAP. Yeah.
Hey, Logic, you said you saw one?
Yeah, when I was at ETH Denver, can't remember exactly where, at some Harmony event maybe, and there was something called Galaxy something, and the way it was described, it was exactly POAP. And I wish I remembered the name. I think I took a picture of it. I'll see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, they call them OATs or oats. Let me find the picture though. 1 second.
Do we know what OAT stands for?
We will when I look through my camera roll on Google real quick and find the picture. 1 second.
Yeah. Well, but
I've seen-
here's the thing, right? Even if it's like a different like project or protocol, I wouldn't necessarily call it like air quote fake POAP, right? I'm thinking like somebody's trying to be like, yeah, this is a POAP or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's
I
like
was
not
sitting
actually a POAP.
sitting in on one of the curation calls. It's basically we'll have like a live chat and watch the curation team do the curation to provide some insight and transparency into the process, so other people on the POAP team can learn more about it. And when I was there actually was one that was an imposter of the, I think it was the Adidas drop. So they're trying to copy one that was already made.
That one is
So,
incredibly common.
Oh, those are all
so
over.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still going. They've been going for months trying to come up with fake Adidas POAPs because it is the most valuable, if I'm not mistaken.
unbelievable.
Like on a secondary market, like migrating over and selling it, or
Yeah, exactly. So they spin up a whole bunch of fake ones with the same artwork. They'll just download it, right? Because you can just download POAP artwork.
Mhm.
Then they'll spin up a couple extras. So like obviously we I'm not part of the curation team, but the curation team does not allow anybody to mint anymore or spin up new ones with the same artwork. But in the past, they had gotten through, I think, about a month after the distribution. So it's an ugly situation for sure. And as far as scam tokens, like I've seen quite a few pop up on Telegram trying to ICO some. They'll pretend like they're POAP and there is an ICO or something like that. So they'll try and sell up a whole bunch of tokens.
oh, I didn't even consider that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so common. Like even like Cryptogs, we launched our project in like I think it's a signal of success if you get copied.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's just the reality of a permissionless world, right?
Yeah.
Watch what, like if you are purchasing things, watch out. Like check, validate contracts, that sort of stuff if you can.
Yes, you definitely
Yeah.
want to stay safe on that stuff, but I feel like for the most part, unless you're trying to really get into some shady stuff, you're probably fine when it comes to POAP.
I mean, yeah, the easiest way around it is just use the official POAP tools. Like the POAP scanner, the POAP app is not going to display counterfeit POAPs, right?
Right.
So, use official tools as much as
And the
possible.
great part is if you're just a casual participator and you're just claiming, you don't even need to connect your wallet. So that greatly diminishes the chances that something can go wrong.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah,
right. You can go ahead and finish your thoughts, Squanch, before we move on.
I'm all good on that. Other than like if you're a new user, I actually wouldn't even recommend connecting your wallet because there's no real need to. I would just run your ETH address through the scanner if you want to view your collection.
Yes, and that's pretty much what I always recommend too. Whenever you claim a POAP, I always just type in my ENS domain. Like you don't have to connect at all.
Yeah,
It'll just mint straight to your thing. But all right, everyone. Now that we're done with being fake and scammy and frauds, let's talk about something that's not fake and scammy and fraudulent. It's actually something that's making the world a better place. Logic Beach, please tell us
Great
what is
segue.
next. What is next
Actually,
in your project?
I really, really want to follow the Gitpo App conversation, and there is a reason for that. Can we change the order?
Sure.
Okay, sorry.
So-
I should have mentioned this somewhere on the side channel, but
No problem.
I forgot.
So we are going to lightly touch on a subject because this is actually the baby of one of our reoccurring hosts, Colfax, and we sort of want to leave a vast majority of it for him because it's his thing, and I feel like that's more than fair. But he has given us permission to talk a little bit about it. Gitpo App, and I mean something that I think all of us on this panel, especially in the eStaker community, like we are just so pumped and thrilled that Gitpo App is finally coming on April the 7th. And I mean, this is going to be a game changer. I mean, honestly. And I'm not just saying this because I absolutely love and respect Colfax. I really do think this is going to be a difference maker. So basically, the idea of Gitpo App is you will contribute to a GitHub repo and you will get a POAP proving that you contributed. It's pretty much as simple as that. I'm sure Colfax can go into a lot more detail and nuance than I can. But yeah, I don't know how much in detail we want to go into. Anyone else want to sort of chip in?
I mean, that's something I'm greatly excited about too. I'm kind of chipping in a little bit, helping him out here and there. One of the things I'll be helping out is if you're a project maintainer and you're interested in the signing up with them, I'd be helping out with the onboarding process a little bit. So I have a little bit of insight of who's signed up, but it's nice to see that there are some big names. One of the obvious that I'm sure many of you guys can assume is Ethereum.org. They're extensive users of POAP, handing them out to their contributors. But yeah, the uses for something like this is huge. Beyond even POAPs. For example, if you're just sourcing talent, say you're looking to hire somebody, you can filter out the different project contributors depending on the type of POAP they got. You know, did they get a POAP for contributing to documentation, or did they get it for contributing to JavaScript code or C++ code or Solidity. So it kind of opens up new doors for sourcing talent, as
Yeah.
well as if you're on the contributor side. It's a great way to get hired or get more contract work, where you have that proof that you've worked for certain projects. And I know you can show people your GitHub. But it's a lot easier at a glance from the hiring standpoint than sifting through your GitHub commits.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a very visual way to show what you have contributed to. And honestly, I really see this as like the online resume killer. You know, like this is going to be your resume. And I'm going to be honest, like raise your hand if you love writing resumes. So one, if you raise your hand, you hate yourself, and two, I can't see you raise your hand anyway. I'm literally talking to a computer screen. But
Nice.
yeah, right. Anyway, like who likes to write their resume? No one. Even professional resume writers probably don't like their job. So so what better than to like basically have it done for you? I mean, come on. Like what's better than just being like, "All right, man, I contributed to your thing and now here's my proof." You know, it's kind of like whenever you were a kid, did your mom tell you to like get involved in things with school cuz they're good resume builders or whatever? Well, now
See it
you
as a
don't have
great
to
way.
worry about you don't have to worry about it. It's just going to be right there. You don't have to like find your proof or anything. It's literally there.
See it as a great way for automation, because before or I guess now, nothing's automatic. You have to actually manually enter things, and that's tedious. No one wants to do that. But with something like Gitpo App, it gets built automatically for you. As you work and as you contribute, in the back end, without you having to interact really, your portfolio is getting built for you, and will no longer require input from your end.
Mm-hmm. So this, I have read this privately, but it's going to be harder to fake your resume now if a lot of people
100%.
use this.
The only
I
thing.
just buy other people's POAPs on OpenSea.
Thank you, Sean.
I feel like
Founder of DreamWorks, though, I always think about that. Went to one of the founders of DreamWorks, lied about going to UCLA to get his first job at a major record company, which would ultimately lead to him working for Disney, meeting Steve Jobs, and becoming an early partner or involved in like Pixar, and somebody that's really done a lot for the world and been involved. And it's somebody that didn't have a college degree at the time. So I mean, as much as credentials help us, I really feel in a lot of ways they can hold back innovative people that have alternative paths. Then again, POAPs can be used to show proof of what you can actually do versus annoying educational credentials. So
That's
it's
what I think
kind
is
of
more important. Like that, like showing you can do a certain skill or have done something is way more valuable.
Yep. Than just trying to pitch yourself, right? Like instead of saying that you can do thing, you can literally use Gitpo App to show that you can do thing. And I think it's awesome.
I love it.
Love it.
And
yeah, exactly.
I'm now going to use this opportunity to segue into the
Yes.
thing I came here to talk about tonight.
Yes, please, Logic.
Yes.
Please. How are we going to make the world a better place this month? Or I guess I should say for April.
I just okay, so one of the things Superfizz likes to say is that POAP makes us more like the people we think we are or want to be. And so this whole Gitpo App thing, I was like, you know what? Now's the time. I'm going to actually get myself to Git. I'm going to just do it. I'm going to finally do it. And so for the past week and a half, I went through some guides and got back into some basic web development stuff. I wish I was a programmer. I've taken so many programming classes, but I think now's the time since there's POAPs involved. I think I might actually do it this time. So what I just posted is the GitHub repo that is the backend to this website, which, hold on, it's going to make me wait 15 seconds. Oh, he did it. Thank you. That website, there is a link to make the world a better place. And what we do shortly and succinctly is we offer POAPs for completing challenges that, in our eyes, make the world a better place. I'm going to just read you the introduction. It's pretty short. It's an effort to make the world a better place. We use the desire to earn POAPs to make actionable change in the real world. The idea is that if you undertake a task to earn a POAP even once, you will be more likely to add these actions to your life on a regular basis. We subscribe to the idea that POAPs aid us in being who we want to be. You may want to do these things in theory, but lack the motivation. All we're doing is offering a simple form of motivation. So yeah, I just created this new web page, and it's all on GitHub, right? So what I really want to see happen with Gitpo App is I want this whole make the world a better place.eth idea to be pushed out into the community. I want people, if you have ideas, or somebody else can create a little box on the page that's just possible challenges, right? Just someone do that. Someone go create on my site and push it to the GitHub repo that just create a box and maybe put some ideas in there. If I merge it, you earn a POAP through Gitpo App. I have a lot of upgrades in mind, but I kind of want to see what the community would do with this outside of just me making this website. And the website I made is very 90s-esque, very simple. It's like a 90s website with modern graphics slapped on it. It's actually created from scratch in the last 2 days. I also want to talk about, and if you go to that page, you can see current POAP challenges. We currently have one earnable all of 2022, which is called NF Tree. It is simply this: plant a tree, take a picture of the tree after you've planted it, like in the ground. It has to be in the ground with a written timestamp. I want to underline and bold and italicize written. It has to be written on paper in the picture. Don't text write it on the image. I'll ignore your DM. You can read the descriptions. Make the world a better place. There's another one that is going on for one more week called Vegan Meal. If you prepare a vegan meal and take a picture of it, a timestamp with ingredients on it, you can earn that one. And something we're really excited about for next month, for all of the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring. And so now's the time to plant flowers, make a garden. So we're calling this one NFBs. Thank you, Britain.eth, who came up with that name. It's so simple and just good.
Yes.
So just plant some flowers, take a picture of it. Bees are important pollinators, and we should do everything to help them.
Yes. So what you're saying is I have to go on Google, get an image of a flower bed, crudely Microsoft Paint some flat, like take flowers from RuneScape or something, and just like crudely paste them on top, and then just like not even use the text, but actually just like the little paintbrush thing, and like write out
that'll work.
yeah.
I'm kidding. Don't do that at all. It'll be annoying for you because of the effort. We'll be completely lost. I won't even.
Yeah, right.
And we reverse image search, but we require the timestamp, so we don't have to reverse image search.
Yeah.
I also want to mention that we're undertaking a method. We're not just going to to DMs anymore. What we want people to do is when they submit their completed task to us, give us an address that you want it sent to. Like we're doing this so we can cut down on POAP farmers doing this. Obviously, if they complete the challenge, they did it. It's a fine line, and currently, sort of how we distribute the POAPs is sort of centralized through me and Britain. Like we see people's submissions and we decide whether or not the effort is good enough. Like if you, for example, with the vegan meal one, I saw one. It was some leaves in a bowl, and I'm sorry, that's leaves in a bowl.
Right.
That's not gonna cut it. You gotta, I don't know.
Yeah.
At least try. You have to try.
It's one of those things where it's like, trust me, guys, if you want this POAP, you're way better off just doing the actual criteria than trying to put in the effort to fake it.
Exactly, because I will be able to tell that you put the effort in to fake it, and it'll be sad for you when I just ignore you entirely.
Plus, it also really helps when you already do those things every day, like the one for using a reusable grocery bag. Like, I literally shop with reusable bags every time. Like, I never use a plastic bag, and I haven't in a long time. So I was like, okay, like this is going to be the easiest POAP ever. Just waited for the next time I went to Walmart, and I recorded myself doing that transaction. Why? Because I knew, okay, this is like 100% definitive proof that I'm doing this thing, and I know that they're going to accept it. Like, and it was so easy. It was just like, okay, here's 20 seconds of me doing a transaction with my bag. Oh, okay, like, I paid for it. Here's my receipt. All right. Thanks for the POAP.
a lot of like the theory or the idea behind Make the World a Better Place. You could easily do these things, most of these things. It's just remembering that you can do them or that you should do them is difficult. But if you remember getting a POAP, that's going to be loud in your hippocampus. You're going to remember that you earned a thing for doing that, and it will just feel good. You'll see it later on and be like, oh yeah, I should do that again. I should keep doing that thing. So yeah, I wrote it at first, like you're 10 times more likely to do things that are good for the ecosystem, for other humans, for yourself, if you earn something for doing it outside of the obvious benefits down the road. So
right.
Like doing good things, it has a slow return most of the time. You can bootstrap that feeling of like it felt good to do that right out of the gate. It might help you do that more often later on.
Yep.
So yeah.
So if I remember correctly, again, this month's was you need to create a vegan meal. So before we get into the spotlight, Logic, I want you to spotlight your favorite vegan meal.
Oh man, that's easy. When I was in college, I was, American college students are generally. So I ate a lot of just basmati rice and black beans with hot sauce. That's vegan and it's very easy to make.
Yep. Awesome. All right. But DeFi dude, I know you've been patiently waiting as we ramble on and on and on. But all right, brother, it's time. My favorite reoccurring segment on the show. What is DeFi dude
Hey.
spotlight this week?
Yes, I do have some. I've got 3, technically 4, so maybe not as much as sometimes, but some pretty decent ones. Let me take some pictures here. I can't screen share as always. But this first one I wanted to spotlight, it is just a community call. Very common reason to hand out POAPs. A lot of projects, they have community calls. The whole community gets on, like this one we're on right now. Except this one, I just wanted to spotlight it because of like the actual design. Let me post it here on the left-hand side in the community calls chat. It just reminded me of like old school, like Disney, Mickey Mouse uh, type design. And so I just thought that was kind of cool. I like that old school style of like, I don't even know if it's Mickey Mouse, the guy in like, I'm on the sailboat. What is that? Like, is it considered
Steamboat
Mickey
Willy?
Mouse? Do you have a different
Yeah.
name? Yeah, Steamboat Willy. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So that's like, I kind of got that vibe from this. I thought that was kind of cool. So I just
Yeah, it's
figured
like
why
in,
not
in the
spotlight it.
face, right? It's like the same sort of style within the face or whatever.
Right. This next one I have is kind of in line with Make the World a Better Place in that this project, I guess, is the purpose is to make the world a better place. In some ways, it's Klimadao, but they they give you a POAP if you participated in some kind of beta tool thing they had going. I'm not sure exactly what the tool was, but it's always cool to see beta testers rewarded because beta testing helps us, make great products, improve issues, and all sorts of stuff.
DeFi
And
dude, I
Klima-
wasn't trying to hijack your thread just now. I was trying to reply that to just put it
Oh,
in the
don't
Sorry
even
about
worry about it. No, it's okay. I'm
that.
not
Sorry.
not worried. Might have to yell at you later, but no, I don't care. It's all good. And then the last 2 is they're both kind of like I say 2. I mean, it is 2, but kind of one because it's like same event, sort of. But it was for hopefully I say this right, but Nowruz, which is a holiday, if I am correct. And the Zapper community basically they ran a karaoke event, which I hadn't seen before on POAP. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a previous karaoke POAP. I would not be surprised at all. But I just thought, what a great way to, good reason to have a POAP. And it's always a fun event coming together and sing karaoke when I assume none of them are professional singers. Oops posted a sticker of it. And I didn't spotlight it just because the event is karaoke. I thought that was cool, but also like the detail in the design. If like you zoom in, you can see the little character. He's even got like a zapper necklace or gold chain on. So it's like it's obvious they didn't just go to Google Images and search purple character and just copy paste the first thing they saw. They did put a little work into it, and so they all excuse me. They also had one for anyone who participated in actually singing, and that POAP actually looks like that GIF or sticker that Oops posted above. I guess Oops says he drew these, so okay, that's awesome. We got the person
artist
responsible.
is here. Yes.
Yeah, I love when that happens. Did not intend for that, but yeah. So that's all I got for the spotlight this week. I thought those were cool, and yeah, thanks for letting me share some.
Oh man, as always, as always. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes or so. So we can either use this time to answer this final Slido question, or we can just talk about the Degen bot. I guess it's kind of up to the rest of the people here. Or if there's anything else somebody wants to add in before we go. Or before we open up to the community, I should say. All right, y'all. Let's see here. What should we do? What should we do? Okay, we only have about 4 minutes left, so I think a lot of people are kind of interested in how they actually claim this POAP. So, if you have been in this call for, how long is it again? It's like 15 minutes, I believe. And you did not mute us. You know that that little symbol down there has little headphones? Yeah, if you deafened us, you probably just lost your chances to get our POAP. Please
You
don't do that in
probably
the
aren't
future.
hearing this.
Yeah, you're probably not hearing me explain this. But all right, guys, on the left side, if you qualify, go to the POAP Claim channel. That channel specifically. I don't know what that knocking was. I just heard knocking. Anyway.
Was that the band hammer?
Right? Go to the POAP Claim channel.
Ooh,
It
I got
is here.
mine.
You are going to type the / button. The one next to the right shift, and it has the question mark symbol on it as well. You will then type in claim and press enter. DGenBot will then give you your code. You will use that code to get your POAP. And I will repeat it one more time. You are going to go to the POAP Claim channel. You are going to type the / symbol, the word claim, and you're going to press enter or return, whatever button it is you use to input things into a chat box, and DGenBot will give you your code. I hope this was a thorough enough explanation for you.
Exclamation
It is
point?
not exclamation point claim.
That was a good enough explanation. Thank you. Not an
Is there
sorry.
space in there? A space in there?
/ claim. That's it. I promise you, if you follow my instructions, you will not have a problem. I promise.
That was the best explanation.
You
ever.
can also type in /POAP.
No, let's not
space
confuse
claim.
people here, Tap.
/POAP space claim.
No.
I actually didn't get my
/ claim.
last week. I actually didn't get my POAP when I went to claim it. 15 out of 1,500 were completely claimed. I thought that was ironic.
Well, too bad. No, I'm kidding.
I claim
was
all
like,
the
what?
extra ones before they all get claimed.
Oh man.
I'm joking.
No.
joking.
All right, y'all. But yes, to keep it real, it is in the POAP Claim channel. It's not in community calls. It's not in general. It's not anywhere else. It is in POAP Claim. Please go there / claim. That's it. That's it. It will give you your thing. Oh, and by the way, I guess I should add this in there too. I hope this doesn't make it more confusing. If a lot of people are claiming at once, sometimes it will screw up and be like, you claimed your code, and it won't give you your code. Just type / claim again. It'll figure it out. I promise. I promise you. Like, prayer hand emoji. I promise. But okay, now that I'm done rambling, I hope everybody had a great time during today's show. I hope you can claim your POAP without anything going wrong. I that's always good thinking, but special thank you to everybody on this panel today, especially Logic Beach and JENetics for stepping in for our 2 regular hosts. Thank you to Hanny
Thanks for
and
having me.
Squanch. Yes, thanks to Hanny and Squanch for talking about your work on the POAP directory. Well, if I could speak, on the POAP directory. Goodness.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Anytime.
But already,
Awesome directory, guys. Great work. Also, everybody that's here, I just want to. Colfax probably will be on next week. Talk more about Gitpo App, so that's really fun to hear. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, I think he said that he wanted to, so definitely if you want some alpha on Gitpo App early, you should probably attend next week's show. But that's going to be it from me. I hope everyone has a great rest of your night.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Everyone.
Take it easy, everyone.